Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'm going to talk about what kind of Wanbo models you might want to use. This is a Wanbo total guide kind of video. I know I don't have all the models right now. I have Mozart one, which I reviewed probably most detailed review in the YouTube. You can check it out at the comment section and probably around the corners. Maybe in the end of the video, you can click the links and watch the long scenarios, details, and I even compare the Mozart one with my Epson TW7000 $1,500 4K projector. So you can't have more information probably. I also did the power output testing, everything. So this is the Wombo TT and this is the Wanbo T2 Max New. So I've tested the T2 Max New and you'll be finding in the description below probably detailed review of this. And by the way, if you're going to purchase any Wanbo model, my discount channel code will be at the bottom of this video's description. So you can copy it and go to the Wanbo store and use the code, get a discount. But my discount code probably won't work extreme discount times like end of the year sales, like Friday sales, Christmas sales, whatever those sales are. So definitely, if you want to use the code, use it in the regular times. Otherwise, if it's in the extreme discount time, probably code won't work. So check out the links at the description below. The purchase of you won't be affecting you, but helping me in the channel wise. So let's just start. Which model is for who? By the way, I am not including right now the X5. It's opened in my laptop and you'll be seeing the specs at around here probably. Too easy of compare. And Wanbo declared X2 Max, which is a classical looking projector, Full HD, again, real Full HD. We'll be talking about that. And also, I don't have T4 right now between something here. And if I separate this, I probably have something like Wanbo T6 here, but I don't have all the models. But generally, I will give you quite a bit of information in this video. So stay tuned until the end. I will also personally share my thoughts about how you can go, what kind of purchase that you can do. So the mini models, like 720 models, will not be in this video, but I also talk about them too. So start with the T2 Max and I will try to go as fast as I can. So T2 Max, let's open up the specs. First of all, I detailedly review the T2 Max and let me just close the JPEG files. The T2 Max New is the model that I reviewed quite a bit of detailed, and I've used early T2 Max first models. So I know the T2 Max, T2R Max, I had those models for my personal use way before the channel. So later on, I reviewed the T2 Max New. So if I compare them, I can have some sort of ideas about this. This is a T2 Max New, tiny, quite a bit of impressive projector. I can hold it with one hand and you can see the ports. So this is a projector to go if you're going to room or travel like a lightweight travel bag. You can carry them all around, but you need an adapter. This thing doesn't have batteries. T2 Max and the T2 Max New has differences. T2 Max New has 450 amps lumen on the declaration. T2 Max regular has 250. So the brightness is increased huge. So if you're thinking a brand new purchase, T2 Max New will be ideal, but it's also about the price. If you're going to find T2 Max or T2R Max in the second-hand market or brand new, quite a bit of bargain, you can go for that. The sharpness level is similar, but T2 Max New has autofocus and T4 also has autofocus too. So what we have lack from T2R Max to T2 Max New, we don't have HDR, but I didn't make the side-by-side comparison, but HDR definitely squeezed the brightest area and the darkest area. So we will probably get more balanced image with the HDR. And also T2 Max regular and the T2 Max, T2R Max, they have manual focuses. T2 Max New is basically, actually, from my opinion, T4 chopped down just a little bit. T4 has the autofocus again 450, again with the T2 Max, but T4 has bigger speakers. I guess T4 has two 5 watts, T2 Max New 2 3 watts. So one of them, T2 Max New, 6 watts of power. T4 has 10 watts of probably speaker. You can look at the specs on the bottom. I'm just talking along the way. So probably if you're going to purchase brand new and if you have the budget, you could look for T2 Max, any kind of T2 series, or T4 depending on your budget. And T4 has HDR. So T4 kind of like a right just sits between here, TT and the T6 with the 650 ANSI lumen, and T2 Max New and the T4 450 ANSI lumen in the declaration, and the T2 entry level, the older models have 250, but all of them are full HD. So you're not going to regret the resolution and the picture quality and the sharpness along the way. There are a lot to of course, compare to, but power output, HDR, better image, better sound, etc. So if you're going to brand new purchase, look at your budget. Any kind of T2, T2R Max, T2 Max, T2 Max New is okay. But when you go upgrade to T4, you're going to upgrade the budget, because let me just check the prices. By the way, in the end of the video, I will talk about the discount timing and what kind of prices that you're going to probably see. So stay tuned and don't buy anything without watching this video until now, until the end of it. By the way, I will be sending you the discount code in the description of this video, so you can copy and paste it to the Wombo store. You can get a home cinema channel discount, home cinema and tech review discount. T4 right now in the website has $238 of price. So T4 is 1 gigabyte to 16 gigabytes of spec wise. So when we go to the T2, let me just find the T2 Max. T2 Max has 199 without this extra discount. Right now it says 250 discounted at 199, but definitely we got $40 difference between T2 Max New and T4. Does the HDR matters that much with the 4 watts of RMS speaker? It can be, because sound is important, and also the HDR, when it comes down to the taste, really adds stuff. I know the HDR of the projectors are not extremely different than the TVs, extremely close to the TVs, because HDR tend to, projectors tend to dim down the color, brightest position, and try to create an equal image as much as possible, not like backlit TVs. So there's a difference than TV HDR and projector HDR, but HDR gives a lot of experience, user experience. If you're going to use in the games with consoles, T4 is way to go, but the $40 as a ratio is around 40-45% price increase. Let's just say 20-25% price increase. It's up to you. If you have the budget, if you're going to buy brand new, instead of going T2 Max New, you can go T4. Some people says on the comments, T4 and the T2 Max are very close in their countries, so I would go for the T4. If they are too close, go for the T4 because it has the HDR. I would definitely get the one with the HDR. But we got a second stage, T6 Max and the TT here. These devices, instead of 450 T4, T2 Max New, these devices have 650 ANSI lumen on the declaration, which I will come in the end of the video. I will also tell why I'm speaking with the declaration stuff. So T6 Max is $309 right now, and the TT, which I have here, $329. The difference between TT and the T6 Max is not exactly rocket science, but basically this device has different chipset and licensing. Let me just show you the remote control. This is the remote of the TT, and as you can see, we got the license logos here. So we got the license of digital media programs that you use. So we got a Netflix certification in the TT, Prime Video, and YouTube. They call it DRM L1 Widevine certificate. So this has the highest certificate for the models, so it can play Full HD Netflix, Full HD Amazon Prime. If you're into the digital media content watching stuff, I suggest you go this direction. And Mozart 1 limited edition also has some sort of same issue. If you're so picky about the digital content licensing and the highest level of quality, you should go for that. But instead of paying extra, you can buy a Google dongle, 4K dongle. I will talk to you in the details. TT has MTK 9266, and the TT has Linux operation system, but T6 Max, which is not here, but probably it will be around here somewhere, same design, similar design, white with a leather or some sort of handler around the sides, with $20 less cash. It has the AM Logic T972 chipset. So what you'll get has a different chipsets, but again, both of the models like TT and the T6 Max has the HDR10, 650 NC lumen, autofocus, everything is quite similar. So design and the size is also quite similar. So you won't regret any of them. But if you're thinking about the certificates and stuff, you could think about the TT. And the Linux-based operation system makes the TT opening a little faster. But I guess the spec-wise, this TT, if I remember correctly, I'm going to try to check that out. This device has 1 GB to 8 GB specs because it's working the Linux, but the TT has 2 GB to 16 GB, better hardware. But visual quality is the same, operating system and the chipset is different. So it's up to you, licensing or better hardware, Android experience or Linux experience. It's up to you. For me, it's TT because I'm just casually using the content, watching digital content. But it's not something extremely important. If it's not extremely important to you, your performance will be similar. You can easily connect these devices in your second room, maybe kids' room, to the consoles and really enjoy this stuff. Probably I will use the TT in the bedroom cinema setup, which I made another whole tutorial, how I created a T2 Max New and some Ulanzi tripod. You can definitely check in the video description around the corners. And what I am missing between the Mozart 1, the highest level of stuff, is the X5. X5 has a lot of things to talk about because Wombo didn't want to send me X5 and they don't have plans for review, they told me, for now at least. So X5 has 1100 NC lumen and Mozart is 900 NC lumen. But why I am talking about it's in the middle here? Because the pricing, the Mozart is the highest point that you can go with an expansion drive like this at speaker side, and I made the most detailed review that you can find probably on the net. So you go back and check that out for long video with the sections, but you can listen to musical quality of this. This is a quite good speaker. This is a quite good Android performance. This is every kind of experience that you can expect for the price range. You can't find anything better than this. So it is a good projector, but you have also alternatives, which I will come in the end of the video. X5 is a rectangle design, and also X5 has 1100 NC lumen on the declaration. Again, autofocus, keystone correction, throw ratio is 1.5 to 1 when it comes down to the throwing ratio. And if I can open up the Mozart 1 throwing ratio, Mozart 1 has 16 watts of speakers and X5 has 10 watts of speakers. So if you're into the sound, this will definitely give you a Bluetooth speaker sound experience. And I tested against a personal Bluetooth speaker of mine. So you will definitely hear this is sounding way better. And spec wise, I guess things are getting similar. And autofocus again. X5 has 1 GB to 16 GB on the specs. Mozart 1 has 2 GB to 32 GB. So it is important for Android, better Android experience and faster interface. and also we got huge amount of speakers. So if you're comparing the X5 with a little bit more brightness or the Mozart one, if you don't care about if you don't have a limited vertical space, because the Mozart one is taller, and like these devices are like cube style, but X5 has like rectangle style. We used to for normal projectors for a long time. So, and by the way, the Mozart one limited edition has Android TV 11. Mozart one regular that I got here has Android 9. So it's also up to you which version that you got, but Android 9 will be in the X5. So they are very close. X5 has a little bit more brightness, they say. I haven't tested yet personally, so I can't confirm it, but definitely on the paper it says it's a little bit more powerful. But you've seen my test. Mozart one is good enough for everyday use. So you can compare them one to another. For me, I would go for faster interface, 2 GB to 16 GB, and the brand new, if I can buy limited edition Mozart one, I would go for Mozart one limited edition. Let me check the prices again, because I guess the price difference always matters. When we talk about, I hit the Mozart one on their website and it says 319. Can I find the Mozart one limited editions? Yeah, I'm trying to find. I couldn't, but if you can find the price, you can write it down. So price is always important. X5 is $300 and the Mozart one is 320. So in the discount time, these times, so you won't be regretting your choice probably. Let me just check if the X5 has the HDR, because that's the important part, if it has the HDR or not. Let me just check it. Keystone, Ansilumen, autofocus, Ansilumen, again Ansilumen, HDR10. So if it has the HDR, then it really is to a point that whether you're looking for a vertical or horizontal setup, or 16 watts of speaker power or 10 watts of speaker power, for me it depends. If I have a soundbar setup like my living room or a portable Bluetooth speaker, I would not care about the extra powerful speaker of the Mozart one. But if I'm going to use a single unit, as sleek as possible, just put it on a bookshelf or a bedroom around the corner or a second room, just use the speaker inside, this is the way to go for me, because the 16 watt and 10 watt, a huge amount of difference, and especially for the sides. I made a detailed, probably 5 minutes of music test compared to a proper Bluetooth speaker, much more powerful than this. You have to listen to that to understand what I'm talking about. What is interesting about the X2 Max, and I just seen it on the website, so X2 Max looks like really Wanbo mini models, mini design, and they call it proper Full HD, native Full HD, 450 NC lumen, Wi-Fi 6, and it's like pretty cool, tiny design. And we got 10 watts of speakers if everything is correct, autofocus, Android 9, dual band. We got everything that we could wish from a projector, but the price is again $269. When we talk about the specs and the price, it's very close to Wanbo T4, maybe even expensive than the Wanbo T4. So pricing is little confusing, I guess. For the instead of X4, why would I go to X2? Because specs are really similar, but it's up to you. So you should be checking that out. I prefer to X4 because it nothing says about extra certificates and stuff. But if you're into a design, it looks cuter than the X4. So it's up to you. If I were just in the middle of decision to below the $300 range, if I want to go something, I would go for X4 because it has $238 on the website. And X2 Max, I would go for T4. Sorry, I said probably X4. I would go for T4 uh, because it has $30 less price. But if I go to the $269 price, I would upgrade another $30 and $300. I would go for this. Probably. I wouldn't go half the power for $30. So it's up to you, but probably discounts will happen. And by the way, I'm coming at the end of the video, so I should check out the Wombo. They told me the prices will be like this. The Christmas discount, and by the way, probably in their website you can click that too. You can click any of them. And the Mozart one will be about $319, which is quite good. When I was reviewing this, it was $399. And with my discount coupon code, channel coupon code, it's becoming like $339, like $60 discount for my channel. So $320 is kind of like ideal. You can't buy really full HD and autofocus style projector. You should be spending about $500 and above to get above 2000 NC lumens of projector from bigger brands, older brands, but they don't have smart functions and they don't have speakers like this. So if you got a darker room, you won't regret the build quality. You will enjoy the review of this video, Mozart one. X5 will be at $269, so the price that I'm seeing is good enough, $369. T2 Max New will be $169, they say. So if it really happens $169, it'll be ideal. T2 Max New will be the ideal projector for you, even for a start, second room, or just casual cinema experience in a dimly lit room, mid-level lit room, or ALR kind of like screen. And TT to T6, it's up to you. It's getting closer to the Mozart one region, so it's also a size issue. You can carry this with a single hand, but this is a 3.3 kilo big muscle car. This feels huge. So if you're going to move it around, this is not a small thing. Even the speaker space is how many fingers? I don't see it, but still, probably 4 or 5 fingers, not even closing. This device is huge. So compared to my head, this is huge. Compared to side by side, look how tiny when you rotate these and put it above. How small this is compared to these. But definitely TT is the mid section if you're going for a small size and if you're going to carry from room to room. So it's up to you. I believe you learn enough information. The only thing probably I left off until now, Wanbo mini models, which are basically 720. Let's go to that. Go to that part. By the way, you're going to see, like I told you, probably in the editing, I'll try my best to include small informational text on the screen so you can compare. Wanbo mini models are like square little tiny projectors with the manual focuses. So mini new upgraded version is Pixel Pro 3 and 250 NC lumen, which is like T2 Max old generation. And the older model is 200 NC lumen. So the 720p models from Wombo still could be usable under around 85 inch or maybe even 75 to 85. Kids room, bedroom, second or third room. Definitely this could be usable. In the beginning of the video, like I told you, any kind of T2 Max, T2R Max, old generation, even in the second hand, would make you happy. But if you go to the brand new minis, instead of that, I would like you to pay some extra money and buy a T2 Max, T2R Max. Full HD will make things a lot more enjoyable. But if you're on a budget or kids room before the sleep, 720 is more than enough if you're just going to watch. But just be careful. The Wanbo mini models are cheap and 720p. Some models don't have the Android and smart functions, so you have to connect to something. You can solve it with the dongles and stuff, but you have to know which model you're buying. Like if there's an option for the Android smart one and non-smart one. Just pay attention what you are purchasing. That's what I want to recall. In the end of the video, probably I told you everything there is to know about all general Wombo models. I compared this Mozart one with my TW7000 $1,500 and above 4K Epson projector, and I realized Epson was performing 75%, 78% of their declaration. So there is a 23 to 25% of error in the declaration of the Epson in my calculations. And Wanbo Mozart one managed to perform around 50% levels, like 53%, 55% levels. So roughly speaking, you can watch the review. I'm not memorizing everything. So what do we get? What do we pay? What do we get? We probably get the most that we paid for. Design is good. These devices are silent. I didn't have any problem with any of them. But if you have the budget, you should always go up with the projectors like the monitors and the TVs. But you'll be happy with any Full HD Wombo model. With 720p, you have to know your size. And even with the Mozart One X5, the highest model of the Wombo until 2023's end, all I can say, 100-inch is ideal. If you go above, you don't have the amount of light. Maybe for the Mozart one, you can go 120 in the dark room. I wouldn't go that more extremely much bigger screens than 120 because Full HD cannot handle, in my opinion, more than 120 inch. If you go above, you start to feel like you need a 4K because our eyes are used to watch 4K TVs under the size of 55, 65. But if you go above 120, 4 times bigger screen than a 65-inch TV, you want a little bit more resolution. And also the light power output, just you lost the light along the way, and I made another tutorial about this. So you don't want to go too big. 100-inch, all of these are good, but when you of course pay extra, you get brighter images. For me, if I was going to buy, I would go for TT and T6 right in the middle if I have the budget, but the budgets and prices are too close, so I can't speak exactly for all the time. If you're going to watch this video 1 year later, you have to understand the topic and decide for that. If the T2 Max new and the T4 is close, I would go for HDR and T4. If the TT and the T6 Max is close, and they are close, $20. If it's not important for you, you can buy a T6 Max and buy a 4K Android dongle, or if you already have a smartphone, you can connect your smartphone from Type-C, you can handle that. So $20 will be in your pocket. You can buy a tripod for that, adjust the height and stuff. That's up to you. And if you have the highest budget, you might want to spend the $300 ratio. You could go for this, autofocus, everything built in, proper speaker and stuff. But I would go, if I go that high, I'll try to buy the Mozart One limited edition because of the license, if this is going to be my only projector. So any of them good. I wouldn't buy the Mozart One if I'm going to carry it because this thing is heavy. This is a home projector. I don't want to carry it around. Heavy. Leave it as it is. But these devices, T4, like this, T2, TT, T6, and also T2 Max, old generation, and the X2, maybe even X5 are like more handleable stuff. So it's up to you, up to your problems and your solutions and your scenarios. One thing is clear. If you're going to buy a projector, just watch my tutorials. With what kind of screen helps, what kind of a room you need to have, how much light power that you need, ANSI lumen difference. I try to teach everything. So ask as much as question as possible at the comment section, and your questions becomes my tutorials and content. I'm doing this channel for hobby. I hope you enjoyed. So you can watch the Mozart One detail review, T2 Max detail review, and probably I'll try to do my best. If the Wombo send me the X5, I will review it. If I have the chance to purchase the X5 and review it, then I will. but I am busy quite a bit these days. So hope to see you in the next video, home cinema and tech review. Bye.